Good evening and welcome. We do not have a room full, but that's okay. There are several people that are here, and there are several people who will be watching this online, which is great. Thank you to Babs and Laura for doing all of the technical helps, but it's great that we can spend some time together and talk about this wonderful trip. Most of you know I just spent a week in Ireland, and setting up this trip specifically, this is different than the 2016 trip. I'm so excited, and there's one person who's been very, very insistent that we go back. And yes, she's here tonight, and by golly, we're going back to Ireland. It's wonderful. Even with the difficulties worldwide the last 2 years, Ireland is open, it's good, there's no real major infestation of this terrible virus. But we are so looking forward to going in August to Ireland. It is a beautiful country. It rains a lot, and that's why it's beautiful, because it's so green, but it's just a great place. So anyways, I have lots of information, and yes, we still have room. If anybody would still like to come, we are the smallest group we have ever been. I think we're like 10 or 11 people. So it is definitely lots of room on the bus for anybody who would like to come, and we would be glad to do that. Now, the air has already been secured, so we will be buying individual air tickets for the people on the same flight. There's still room, and we are flying out of Detroit, which is wonderful. But if you know anybody else who would like to come and sign up, we'd love to have you with. So I'm going to hand out this sheet, and this will give us a little bit of an idea of what's going on. And I have multiple copies. I think I gave you one. So for those who are watching online, if you email me, I will send this to you. But this is pretty much what we're talking about as far as scheduling. And many of you know I don't hand out an itinerary too early. But I figured this one, I'm just going to go for it, because there are some different things, which is really great. So there's a kind of a list of who's going. We're going out of Detroit, which is nice. Sometimes we've had to go out of Toronto because we have been able to get better flight, not only times but prices. And air prices right now, as you know, if you're going anywhere, is really going up. I mean, no matter where you're going, it is pretty expensive. So I have several things. This has been one of my resources, which have been really great. And several of you have had either photos or whatever. This is Lonely Planet, which has been helpful. The week I spent was nice because I was able to get a driver, and we drove all around Ireland. So all the places that we're going to, all the hotels we're going to stay at, I've been there like, when did I go? Last month?
Easter.
Yeah.
It was Easter. It was Easter.
April.
Because I celebrated Easter Sunday service at St. Patrick's in Dublin, which was wonderful. It was great. So this is a good resource. There are several other resources. This time I picked up maps. And if you're interested, I can share them with you. The one that's going to be the most interesting is this one. And I'll talk about Dingle in just a minute, because people don't have any idea what Dingle is. And that's kind of exciting. So if you look on the sheet, we're leaving out Friday morning. And I will tell you, it's easier going to Ireland than coming back from Ireland to the United States. I was incredibly amazed on the amount of time it took to go through the hoops to come back into the United States, even in Ireland. I was told book 3 hours to come, and it took me 2.5 hours between the lines and the checks and the lines and the checks. It was incredible, and I like Dublin Airport. It's a nice airport. But coming back to the U.S. is really crazy. And we did have to have a test within 48 hours. Now, by the time we go in August, maybe that'll go bye-bye. I'm not sure. But I had to get a COVID test and show negative. I paid the $35 and got it within 3 hours. It was no big deal. We can do that right at the hotel before we leave, the night before. Bob Rogers already said that we'll bring somebody in and do that. Otherwise, we can do it at the airport, but it's easier if we just do it the night before. And anyways, and we will get that all covered. That's not a problem. So if you look on this schedule,
Just a question, if you test positive, do they not let you come back?
that's correct. You have to quarantine there. And that's one of the reasons why we have this insurance package, because it will be covered with Bob Rogers.
Okay, good to know.
So, yeah, you definitely want to stay negative while we're there and coming back, because otherwise, you can't get back into the US. Now, again, everything is changed. I mean, things were different 6 weeks ago than they are today. I mean, there's been this great influx.
It's constant change.
And now, 6 weeks from now or 3 months from now, who knows what it's going to be like. So, we really have to go, with the flow. But Bob Rogers has been very, very good as far as being able to accommodate. They have had, I don't want to overstep, but I think they've had 6 trips to Ireland this year already, different groups, and not had a problem anywhere. I mean, they're kind of covering themselves and trying to be careful, but yeah, they've had really, really good success, which is great.
Can I ask a question?
By all means.
Regarding COVID tests, do you have to have the 2 shots? Do you have to have the booster?
No, you don't have to have anything. All you have to do is just have a negative test. They just swab in your nostrils and then check it. That's all it is.
So you don't have to show your card?
You don't have to do any of that. Either way, either going to Ireland or coming back. Going to Ireland, you don't have to show anything. They're just happy to have you.
Really?
Really. It's just coming back to the US that's so difficult.
Okay, because Tim might be added on. When is the last point in time that he can be added?
That would be a Carol question.
Okay.
Okay, and it just depends on the venues, the hotel availability. And right now, Ireland is hot.
Right.
But as far as the testing, no, we're doing really, really good on that. I mean, it's not that big a deal. I did not have to show anything.
Nothing at all, okay.
Nothing
So
at all.
going in or
Nothing at all.
Okay,
Nothing at all.
because Blake, he still has to get his 2nd booster, which we want him to get, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell him
Not
to get it
necessary. Not necessary, at least for this trip.
for this trip, okay?
Nope.
All right.
I don't think that you have to have any notification of anything going to Ireland.
Okay.
And now coming back, that's what I'm not sure. And you know what? I didn't even show my card because I have had one shot, one
Okay.
vaccine shot. I had a Johnson Johnson.
Because Tim hasn't had any.
If he
We're not-
tests negative, he's fine.
Okay,
He's fine,
all right then.
which is great.
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll check with Carol then as.
Caro is definitely the one to check with. Caro is our Bob Rogers consultant, and it's Caro, C-A-R-O, at BobRogersTravel.com. She's very good. She's quit her small part-time job. She's back to with full-time Bob Rogers, and so she will get back with you.
Okay.
Email her anytime. Caro, C-A-R-O, at BobRogersTravel.com.
Oh yeah, I've already messaged her a couple times about stuff, so.
Good, good. Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
That'd be
Okay.
awesome. Love to have him.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so as you see, we're 2 days in Cork, 2 days in Killarney, and 2 days in Dublin, which is nice. A lot of the trips we go, I love to have 3 and 3, because then you really settle into the hotel. But because we're going some different places, it really is better that we do it this way. Now, interestingly enough, I was able to stay at the Riverlea Hotel. It is wonderful in Cork. It is great. And great dinner. A lot of times we're getting back different. One of the things that I noticed, and I've talked to several people about Ireland, the pubs are not like they were 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago. The pubs are changing. They're not like the little neighborhood pubs anymore. You would much rather find an IHOP than a local pub.
Really?
Or a McDonald's than the local pub. Which, I mean, that's half the reason to go to
Why
Ireland.
do you think that is?
I don't know. And the other thing that's really crazy about Ireland is this. The popular music in Ireland is not the traditional Irish music. It's a mash of something that sounds like low-end American country. That's the new Irish, and they love it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I like country, but not like bad country, I mean, if I can go that far. And so it's hard to find Irish music. I mean, really. Now, we found it, and we're going to go see it. But yeah, anyways. So anyways, we're going to go, and we'll be at the River Lee, which is just wonderful, in Cork. We are, the first day, remember, readjusting to our body time clock. So it's always hard, you know, because people always want to go to bed as soon as we get there, because it's about, what, 5-hour difference. So that's why we need to keep you up as long as we can, and then you can go to bed early, and then we're pretty much okay. But we will go to Waterford first, and that is a change. Waterford Crystal is a little south and east of Dublin, but that's going to be our first stop. Waterford Crystal is, you can get Waterford Crystal in a lot of places throughout Ireland, but we're going to the factory. We're going to see it, and it's really cool. But that's the first thing we're going to do when we get off the plane. Now, if you want to buy anything there, of course they will ship it, or you can put it in your socks and your underwear and carry it with you. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I think we carried ours with us.
carried the vase.
We bought a flower vase. It was a little heavier, but yeah, we carried it the whole time. So it was really kind of cool. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to Blarney Castle. And yes, they are still kissing the Blarney Stone.
Okay.
You can do that. And if you ever saw the picture of me kissing it, you know it's really weird. But, you know, you can do it. And apparently they disinfected after everybody. And, you know, they take, you know, whatever. But you know the whole story of the Blarney Stone, right?
I have no idea.
Oh my goodness, you've got to kick it. I'll just say gift of gab, and that's all I'll say. And then you can look it up and you can whatever.
Google it when you get home.
But we are going to Blarney Castle School. Now also what's really cool there is a very nice place for lunch. And you have the Woolen Mills, which is a huge store. I mean, it's the size of a Meijer. A large Meijer. It really is great.
Oh, that's the one where it's the gift shop? Like,
Yes,
okay.
it's a very large store. So it will get your juices going, and your credit card will just be like, yeah, okay, we can do this. But it's a great place, and we will travel a little bit and come to the River Lee from there. There actually is a river, and we are staying right on the river, which is kind of cool. The next day, we go to Charles Fort, which is right by Kinsale. Kinsale is probably the coolest little place, little town I know of in Ireland. It's just great. It's a port, you know, so it's a fishing port. A lot of history, but the fort there is kind of cool. There's not much to it. Jamestown is much more exciting than this fort, but it's historic and everybody goes there and it's really worth it. It's kind of cool. And in the morning it'll wake you up and things like that. So then we'll go to Kinsale. Great shopping, good place for lunch, just a cool place. Then we're going to go to Old Head, which the 2016 never got to. This is some of the best pictures of the ocean that you'll ever see. We are really at the tip on the west side of the country. So it's really cool. The G Remembrance, I'm not even going to tell you what that is. But it's very special. You won't find it on any visitors' maps. You won't find it on any tourist things. It's owned by a private lady, and I'm all going to say that we probably will stop there for 15, 20 minutes, and you will be like, yeah, this is a good reason to stop. And it's like 10 minutes outside of town, so it's really worth it. And the bus can get up there. I know, I'm a bus driver. I would drive it up there. And the bus drivers in Ireland are better than me, believe me. So we will have dinner at the South County Bar and Grill, and I had a wonderful experience there. That's really not so much touristy, but there's more tourists that go there than ever. It's a nice place. It's a nice Irish place. It's not in town. It's out of town a little bit. So we'll drive to it, but you'll enjoy it. Most every dinner we have is going to be an experience. even at the hotel, we really have some very, very nice dinners, and sometimes we have to. Normally, I don't like doing dinners at hotels, but these hotels have been very, very nice. So then we go in the morning. English Market is open early. I don't know if you know about the English Market. It's just really cool. They sell all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty cool. The Cobb Heritage Center, that is where the Titanic left from when they came to America. That was the last stop they made. And there were some people who came on from there before that terrible, terrible accident. I don't know if you are interested, but it wasn't just the iceberg that destroyed the Titanic. They had actually had a fire, a coal fire down in the lower parts of the ship that was in about 3 sections, which actually weakened part of the steel. So when that Titanic hit, these bulwarks, which were supposed to hold the water, they gave way. That's what sank the ship. But this coal fire, the Titanic was already late from leaving. Remember, this was maiden voyage. And they were going to lose millions of dollars if they did not sail by this latest date. So that's why they pushed it up. They had all these incredible people on, you know, and they said, no, whatever's happening, we're sailing this date. And so they did. And they shouldn't have. They should have waited. But they didn't wait. And, of course, that's what happened. So, but they have this Heritage Center, which is great. It has a lot of pictures, a lot of interesting things. You know, we're in and out of there in an hour, but it's pretty cool. It's really neat. So we'll be there. Then, we will do part of Ring of Kerry. Ring of Kerry is very famous for the pictures. It's just, you know, anybody who goes to Ireland goes and sees. Now, we won't spend the whole day doing the Ring of Kerry, because you can spend the whole day doing the whole thing, and you will need Dramamine by the time you're halfway through. I mean, it's really one of those kind of deals. But we will see part of it, and that's kind of cool. This is also when we will do the sheep farm. And the sheep farm there's only like 3 of them, I think, in all of Ireland that actually caters to tourists. And so we will go there. There's enough room for the bus. It's a working sheep farm, and we will see the dogs actually working the sheep, just on command. It's really cool. So anyway, we will stop at Muckross, and then we have dinner at our new hotel, Drama Hotel. It's a great hotel. It is so cool. Probably my favorite place to stay in all of Ireland. It's within walking distance of town, of Killarney. There's 2, impressive churches. There's all kinds of shopping. It's just right down the street from town. But there's a gas station with a convenience store across the street with ice cream. I mean, you know, some of these things are kind of important, you know. So we'll be there in Killarney. The next day is what we've not done before. And this is where I went and did exploring. The Ring of Dingle is like the Ring of Kerry, only it's a little smaller, a little less touristy, and there actually is a town of Dingle, which is so cool. So we will get some of the best pictures. I mean, the kind that usually go on your computer as your screensaver. That's kind of the pictures that you're going to get when we go to Dingle. It's really, really worth it. I'm so excited that we can go. And it's like I said, I've been to Ireland 2 or 3 times, and I'd never been there. So it was kind of fun for me to explore. But I'm really excited about it. And we will spend more time on the Ring of Dingle than we will of Ring of Kerry. Because everybody goes to Ring of Kerry, and they're like, yeah, that's cool, you know. But Ring of Dingle is like, okay. So really excited about that. We will have dinner at Kate's Cottage, which is there is a Kate, and it's a great place. I have pictures of it. I may put them on. I may put something on the website. I'm not sure, from Kate's Cottage. Just a really nice place. And remember, anytime you travel with Showtime, your first adult beverage is included with your meal. So whether you're going to have a glass of wine or have a local beer, that's always included. Now your third or fourth, that's up to you. But definitely the first one you can. Okay. So then we're heading to Dublin. Now, interestingly enough, if you can think of Ireland like this, we're going to come in, we land in Dublin, we go right to the middle in Cork, and then we're going to head out to the west coast. Now we need to head back to Dublin, but in doing so, we're going to go north, and we're going to stop at a place called Adare. And not many people have been there. I have not been there. But when I was here just a couple months ago, we stopped. Great place. Nice shopping, nice place for a cup of coffee and a Danish or something. And we're heading to the stud farm. This is a place that is very new. You won't find it in a lot of tourist books. In fact, they have a part of it that's just opened this year. The stud farm, the racehorse experience means you can go in as an individual, and you are like an owner of a horse. And so you will do some things as an owner, and then you will do some training. This is all virtual. And then it builds up to an actual race. And then you're the jockey. And then you will actually sit down, and on the screen in front of you is this race. And somebody actually wins. So you're racing. It's really exciting. It's a big full screen and everything. And then you go out of this room, and then they have video recorded you in the race. And so you watch race is only 2 minutes long anyways. So you watch yourself in your race up. It's so much fun, and we're going to do this. But this, racehorses are a big deal in Ireland. Yeah, well, this is the National Stud Farm that we're going to go and tour and see it, and then have this racing experience, which just opened this year. The gal that I was talking to, she'd been there like 2 months, but they were very excited about it. So anytime that you can go to Ireland and do something that nobody else has ever done, even though they've been to Ireland for like 10 times, that's kind of cool. So this would be your first opportunity. And everybody gets to do it. Everybody gets to, I think there's like 8 or 10, horses that race. And so we may have one group or two groups, but it's pretty cool. Then, of course, we go to Guinness Storehouse, which is so important. I mean, and I don't know if you like Guinness or don't like Guinness, doesn't matter, but the Guinness there is really wonderful. It's really a tourist mecca. I mean, when you go to Ireland, you really got to go to the factory. You got to go to the storehouse. And they show you all kinds of things. Sometimes you get to actually have like some idea of how you pour a Guinness, because there's really kind of, lessons you can do. And then you get a little chip, which gets you a pint. And so you can go upstairs and have your pint, which is great. And if you don't like Guinness or you don't want it, I'll take your chip.
You want it.
I think I had 3 the last time I was there, which was great. It was wonderful. Felt no pain. It was really good. But it is a really cool place. It really is. So we will be heading to the Samuel Hotel. Samuel Hotel only opened the week before Easter. It is a brand new hotel. I went in there, but I couldn't stay there. They were just opening it up for guests. It is a brand new hotel, not a rehab, not a refurbished, but a brand new hotel in Dublin. And it was beautiful. It was really cool. So, I mean, we're not staying at like, renovated Motel 6s or whatever. I mean, we're staying in some nice places. These are really nice hotels. And because Bob Rogers does a lot of business, they have good rates, and we're able to stay at them. But when you go on a trip, food is important, but where you stay is important. And so all of these 3 hotels are very nice. Not to say they're very clean, but they're very efficient. We have sufficient elevators. If Kara was watching this, she'll know about the one place we stayed in London. Oh, it may have been quaint, but it did not have good elevators. We were just in Mackinac, and we stayed at a place that had an elevator that was okay for 2 people. One people could have luggage, and the other person couldn't. That's how small the elevator was. these hotels have sufficient, and either they're 2 or 3 or 4 elevators, and they're big enough for luggage, so that's good. That's always important when you pull into a place, you know, and you got your bag, you know, and your carry-on. You can only take you and one other person? No, anyways, Samuel is just beautiful. It actually is right on the river, which goes right out to the ocean. So there's ships and things like that, which is really cool. It's not too far from town. I actually walked down into Dublin City, but you know, sometimes cabs or we just take the bus, whatever. So anyways, we'll be at the Samuel. Now the next day is a full day in Dublin, Trinity College, the Book of Kells, which is so famous. I mean, it really is. And you need to just, you know, kind of relish in the history of Dublin. St. Stephen's Green, St. Patrick's Cathedral, and there will be some shopping. The one complaint I've had over the years is I never give enough time for shopping. And so we've tried to give some time, you know, to let people do some shopping, and that's fine. And then we end up at probably one of the highlights of all Ireland. Plowboys has been doing full shows for over 30 years. They're 4 guys, and they look like they've been doing this for 4 years. I mean, they're old guys, but they are great musicians. They are just tremendous. And so they do a whole show of like 3 hours of Irish music, and then they have men and women who are dancers and do the Irish dancing. It's a great meal. Oh my goodness, it's really good. And by like, I think it's like 7 to 10, and by 10 o'clock when they close, I mean, you feel like you've been in Ireland, believe me. It's a great way to close the week. It really is pretty cool. I think when I was there, they called me up for something, didn't they? Didn't I get called up for something? I don't remember. We had a group there, and then whatever. So that's kind of interesting. So, and then in the morning, then we leave, and that's when we've got the lines coming back to the U.S. And there's all kinds of things with customs and bags checks and, you know, shoes and belts and all that kind of stuff. My gosh, coming back in the U.S., you'd think we're all, you know, suspect.
I'll make sure I don't have any fruit in my.
Yes, that's probably good. Fruit or fresh plants or things like that.
Right, yep. We
Yeah.
have
Why do they
bananas,
take fruit away from you?
so.
I don't know.
But
But now,
They carry bugs or some kind of.
My daughter brought me an orange from Israel. I don't know how she got that
She
home.
get that through.
ooh, that's very
Wow.
interesting.
That was one of the best oranges I ever.
I'm sure it was, especially since it was so illegal.
I said to her, I said, how did you? She goes, Mom, it was in my luggage. I forgot all about it.
Now, I have been checking. They may be relaxing the rule of the 3-4 ounce liquids. By the time we go in August, you may be able to bring a full bottle back in your luggage. Because it's always been like 3 or 4 ounces and that's it. So if you have a water bottle that's 12 or 16 ounce, you may be able to carry it with you. Rather than like have empty and then fill it up, you know, inside the gate. So I don't know about that yet, but I did hear from one of the captains that may be relaxed, which would be a really good
I
thing.
can ask Gary.
Oh yeah, he's a Delta.
I usually give him my water bottle and he takes it.
Right. Well, you know, this may be the end of May, but there are still things that are changing. Some good, some not so good. So we'll just have to, you know, kind of see how things are going. Before you go any further, I want to get both of these 2 other people up here just for a second, just because I want them on the video. So, just as an introduction, this is Barbara, and she often goes as Babs. She's administrative assistant. Many times when you get emails, that's going to be from her, or if she's checking on fleece sizes or things like that, or just any correspondence, you may be hearing from Babs. So she's our newest member, but really glad to have her. And then we've got Laura. And Laura is the person who does all of our website work. And I'm going to go make sure that this camera is right on them. Oh, it is. It is. So they look very nice in green. That's very, very nice. But if you hear about you know, things that I'm sending about from Laura or from Babs, who is also Barbara, then you know who we're talking about. They're on the website, but really, really happy to have them with Showtime. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that makes it semi-official. All right, so that's a pretty good idea. There may be some additional things, I'm not sure, but right now, that's a pretty good idea. You have the hotel names where we're gonna be. You have pretty much an idea where we're gonna go, because we come in from Dublin, go south into Cork, we go over to Killarney, and then we work our way through Adair and back over into Dublin. And that's good. If we were to fly into Shannon, which we could have done or would have done, it would have cost us, I think, another $600 to go to the west coast into Shannon, which is kind of like going into Flint. Okay, it's a very small airport. So it just made a whole lot more sense just to save that money and just go into Dublin proper. So, questions?
We are gonna be going to the Jameson experience when we're in Cork.
We are. Did I not put that on here?
No, you have it on there, you just didn't mention it, and I just wanted to make sure.
We are
Unless I
definitely
missed it
going.
again.
We are definitely going to Jameson.
Okay.
In fact, I was gonna bring some Jameson here tonight, but my wife mentioned to me that, no, we wouldn't have alcohol here in the school, and I thought, yeah, right. But sometime if we meet, like, maybe someplace else, I have some Jameson I just brought back that you can taste. It's really cool. Jameson is a old distillery. It's one of the mainstays of Dublin, and honestly, it's really the best. It is. Because when I was there in 2016, I got chosen to be one of the taste testers around the table, and I never tasted whiskey before, so I really didn't know what was going on. So I tasted like the Jim Beam and the different American things, and then they worked up to a couple of different things, and then they ended up with Jameson. Well, I mean, we were only taking a sip, so it wasn't a big deal, but Jameson was by far better. I mean, for my palate. And then through the rest of that trip, somebody was sending me like 12-year-old shots from, like this table and that table. I was like, okay, we're liking this. But yes, we'll be at Jameson. Jameson is under construction, but it has a good way to go in there, good place for the bus. So yeah, we will definitely be at Jameson. Excuse me. Definitely with euros. If you want to exchange any cash, I always like going up and seeing my friend in Birmingham, and I can give you his name. I don't think I'll bring him in for this trip, although if we had people, he would come and do that. But it's a really good place to, and I can give you his name and an address. Yes, we're on the wrong side for driving.
How much money do you recommend to bring?
Well, lunch is always on your own, but most every place we go, we'll take a card, and they have the best exchange rate. So I use my Visa.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing a $12 lunch, it converts it
Yeah.
right away. Although sometimes just stopping in for an ice cream or something, I don't know. I think the last week I brought 100 euros, and I never even used them all.
You do wanna make sure you tell your bank and credit card
Oh, yeah.
company that you're going out of the country.
Sometimes that's important. I do Bank of America, and they said it's not necessary anymore.
Oh, really?
But I always want a note on it, so that all of a sudden you see things from Dublin or from Killarney.
That they
Then-
don't shut your credit card down?
Right.
Right.
Or you're making a purchase and
Yeah.
they decline it,
Right.
and they want to talk to you on the phone. Yeah, it's always better to do that, no
Yeah.
question about it.
I thought that was-
But cards are, now, traveler's checks are no more, you know. American Express is not taken as much as it used to be. So Visa, MasterCard are still the way to go. Debit or credit, doesn't matter. They're happy to take whatever you got.
Spend your money, please.
Remember that it is different electricity. So it's not only an adapter, but it's a converter. So the converter actually takes it to the different level, but the adapter is just so your pins work. And that's really important to carry both. And I have them, and I'll carry them, so if you want to borrow mine for
I
a
bought
night.
them for Italy.
Yeah, that's fine. The luggage, you definitely carry your own luggage. I don't pay for any porters and when we go. So anytime you're going, it's really good to have good wheels. And, 4 wheels right now is pretty much basic. I don't suggest you taking 50 pounds because you're gonna pick up pamphlets or books or clothes or anything like that. And so you wanna have some extra weight, because once you're at 50 pounds and over, they charge you big time. So just be careful. I do have a scale, and I'd be happy to lend it to you just to see what it is. 50 pounds is
My
heavy,
bag's always-
that's really heavy, so.
Yeah.
Rain gear, whatever you feel comfortable with. Sometimes a small umbrella is okay, sometimes a poncho, but it will rain. I mean, it's just Ireland, you know, it's just, you just have to kind of go with it. And then the sun comes out, you know? Just realize that, you know, it's gonna rain sometime. It's just the way it is. Any dietary needs you've got, need to send to me or to Carol for requests, you know, if you're dairy or shellfish or anything like that, you know, because we can modify. And most all the places that we go to, they're understanding. I mean, we're not going to some you know, little kitchen that doesn't have any idea what to do, but we can definitely help you out for that. Big breakfast every time we go. I mean, you want to have breakfast. So if you're not a breakfast person, start being a breakfast person, because it's a really nice breakfast, and it's included, and you're paying for it. So you might as well go for breakfast. Like I said, Caro is the best contact if you have questions beyond me. But Bob Rogers has been very, very helpful. They're very successful. They're back. I actually started working for them now as a part-time employee, and I can't tell you, I'm very pleased with the company. They are just very good. Bob Rogers was a retired band director in Illinois, and his daughter and son, Tammy and Todd, have taken over the business and have done extremely well. Over the last 2 years, they lost employees and have brought some employees back and then hired some other ones. But they are very busy and everybody's traveling. We saw that in Mackinac this past weekend. I mean, people are traveling. They are ready
Flights
to
are
go.
full.
They are ready to go. Planes are full. Yeah, they really are.
They're offering big bucks to get you off the plane.
Wow.
My friend just got $700 to give up their seat the other day.
For giving up a seat. Well, we're not giving up seats to Ireland, I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. So any other questions? Anything else I can help you with? We will probably get together sometime in July, and then certainly before we leave. I don't know if you guys want to do shirts or fleeces. Fleeces are just wonderful. This is one of my latest ones, and I use the same company, which is down in Brownstown. But this sheds water. It's warm, and it's not too warm. This is the one we had for a London-Paris trip. If we want to do these, we can talk about it. If we don't want to, that's fine too. But sometimes it's nice. It kind of looks like, you know, we're a group. You know, we're together. So, anyways, I have some of the information. If you want to see this about Dingle and where it is and what's about it, I'd be glad to share this with you. If you want to take my Lonely Planet book and look through it and look through some of the places that we're going to be, you're welcome to. These usually cost $20-25. You know, you're welcome to borrow it for a little while. And like I said, we've got room, so if you know other people who'd like to come, I've got lots of little flyers you're welcome to take and pass out, and it's got information on how we contact. Like I said, your air is secured. We're already good. And any other piece of people we put in, we'll buy air for them on the same flight, and there is room, so
So I
we're
have a
good.
question. So if Gary and I decide we're doing this,
Yeah.
do we have to pay like the whole thing like right now?
I
Because
think-
we're coming close. I mean, it's only a few months away.
Right, I think that's a Carol question.
Okay.
She might say, you know, put half down and pay it by this amount, because we have to prepay before we go.
Yeah.
Prepay all the hotel rooms, all the meals. Plowboys is usually at least 3 weeks before, you know.
All right. So we gotta make a decision.
So you have Carol's information, right? How to
Yeah, you
contact
gave her email.
I would say that's the best one to contact. She can tell you about that, because she's actually, you know, heading that up.
Okay.
So I'll check with Tim to find out, because I know that we'd have to pay the full thing at one upfront, whatever, so, yeah.
That'd be great to have him.
I really want him to come, because I know he's been looking forward to this trip, but everything with COVID and
Right.
everything, because he couldn't get vaccinated.
Right.
And now, but if they're not asking for anything,
Nope.
then he should be
They're not.
fine,
They're not.
whatever.
And they haven't been. Ireland's been open for a long time.
Right.
Ireland's one of the first ones who opened up.
Right. The biggest thing though is coming back to the states and what they're gonna allow, you know?
Well-
Cause I was like, what do you do? if
I
you can't
carried,
get back
I
to the
carried my
States?
little Vax card and no one ever asked to look at it.
Okay,
All they wanted was my negative test. And like I said, by the time we get to August, that may go away, who knows?
right, yeah, cause I know Blake, he's gotta get a second one. I'm gonna let him know, it's up to him, whatever, cause he really doesn't, he and I just had COVID a few weeks ago, actually, for the second time. So, but anyway, but otherwise, everybody else was fine, so.
Cool.
Can we bring our own test with us? Just
Yeah,
on the safe
sure.
side?
No, they wanna have that, because what you have, what you've been sent like by the government,
Right.
is not what they're gonna wanna have. They're
Okay.
gonna, they're gonna have their own one and they will send you the results. And like I said, it cost me $35.
Right,
And if we need to cover that with Bob Rogers, we'll do that.
okay,
That's why I'm hoping that when we're at the hotel, the Samuel,
Uh-huh.
we'll actually bring someone in. We'll test all of us, and then we'll have results in the morning.
okay. No, I was thinking like, you know, just for giggles there, whatever, it's man, like, okay, let's go ahead and test each other, you know, just to be on the safe side.
Well, you can do that for your own sake, but
Right.
that won't go
But
for
it's not
the.
gonna fly, oh, no, I understand
So
that.
when you go to the airport, you literally have to show your results from these approved places.
Okay, so,
Yep.
alrighty, no problem, so. I wish more people were going, this is a very small group, not saying anything bad, cause it's great, cause I know for London and Paris, we had what, 22 people? And it worked out really good, I thought.
And that was the smallest group,
That was a small group.
because
right?
we're all set for 43 for
That's
Italy.
someplace else I wanna go.
Yeah. yeah.
Well,
It was wonderful. We
I've
saw-
been to
we
London,
saw-
but I wanna
We saw
go back.
Notre Dame right before the big burn.
We're gonna go back to London and Paris on spring break 2024.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that may be my last international trip.
Really?
Well, it just depends, you know.
Are you
It's a
going-
lot of work.
Are you going to Italy at all? Is Italy still on? the
Italy's still on, yes,
What is
for
that?
August 2023.
August of 2023? Okay,
And I just happen to have one of the brochures right here.
okay. Because I'm just trying to get the girls to go to as many places as possible.
Well, I tell you, that itinerary is incredible. That is just incredible. And we
You have
include,
another one of those? Or was that
yes,
the only one?
and we include,
I had it before, but I don't
we
know what I
include
did
a
for-
gondola ride in Venice.
I know,
No other company does that.
right?
It is so cool.
Have you gone on a trip with them yet?
No,
It's wonderful. I'll tell you right now, everything's already planned out. You
Sounds
don't have to do a
perfect to me.
darn thing, just make sure you're on time. and
pay
a
the
good
money and show up.
Yeah, there's only two rules
Yes.
that we have with Showtime.
Mhm.
There are only two rules, and what are they, Colleen?
You have to.
Be on
be
time, you're right, be
Yeah,
on time,
be on
that's
time.
really important,
And be a nice person.
and you have to be nice.
Oh, well, I can't come then.
Those are two rules that we have stood by since the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm an early person, you know that about me
I
already.
do.
I always
But you
show
know
up early.
what? Those things really cover all situations. If you will be on time, respecting everybody else, and just be nice. I mean, when we went to Ireland in 2016, we had this wonderful group of people, and all of a sudden, we're in Heathrow Airport in London, and they told us that our plane was canceled. Not postponed, but canceled. Let me just say that 90 minutes later, after some calming comments by Mary Lee,
Yeah,
and by some really, really good communication with me and the airline, we actually got a plane to take us to Dublin rather than to Shannon. We called the driver, we had him come from the west coast of the country over to Dublin. Bob Rogers made new hotel arrangements, and we just changed the itinerary a little bit. But I think, we told the people, just relax, nobody get excited, we'll take care of this. And I was working with two ladies downstairs from where we were. And I bet I was up and down those stairs a million times.
Check to make sure everyone could swim.
And just being nice worked it out, so we were able to actually get everybody back over to Ireland that night, and then we worked it out. And Liam was our driver, and I talked to Liam when I was over there a couple months ago. He may drive for us again. He's a great guy. Oh, man. And Irish all the way through, with his jokes and everything. But Anyway, so anyways, it's a good situation. So get in touch with Carol for your needs. Email me whatever you need, and please encourage your friends, nice people. Let's go to Ireland in August. Okay?